This is the iPhone 15 Pro Max, and it has been my daily driver since September. And I gotta say, I'm actually thoroughly impressed with this phone, as coming from a 14 Pro Max, it was a surprisingly nice upgrade. Now, from the 14 Pro Max, my biggest complaints were battery life, and that was really it, because the battery life on my 14 Pro Max seemed to just get worse and worse as time went on, and that seemed to be the trend with the 14 series across the board, as a lot of people's battery health was not doing so good after a year. But with the iPhone 15, so far it seems to be fixed, and hey, knock on wood. Now, I can get through a day and have easily 40 to 30% left, which is more than enough for me if I had to go out longer than planned, as that 40 to 30% will easily last me into the next day. Now, it also comes with a USB-C port. So, while we're talking about charging, I gotta say, a big thing that I've been a fan of are the new charging accessories that we have been able to get with USB-C. So, this is a charger that I have for Anchor, and it's just a very simple one. It has a little plug here, and it just plugs right into the bottom of your iPhone. It plugs right into the USB-C port, and then just stays at your iPhone like this. And I gotta say, I'm actually pretty impressed by that, because it's a lot simpler, and there were some lightning accessories like this, but now that it's USB-C and can be used on pretty much any device, such as my iPad, my Mac, and really whatever, opening up the portable chargers and just chargers in general has been real nice, because I have a 2-foot Mac charger. I can just use that to charge my iPhone. Now, I can also use MagSafe, which has been pretty nice, as I use the leather wallet all the time, and a MagSafe Duo and MagSafe battery pack as well. So when I'm not using my Anchor charger, I'll use a MagSafe Duo charger, or the MagSafe battery pack, both of which are nice. But I can just attach it just like that, and you get a little confirmation animation, and it has been great. Now, with all of this, also we got a big camera upgrade. So the cameras did stay the same size from the 14 series, which thankfully, because they are getting a lot bigger than I think we've ever expected them to be, because if you just look at an iPhone 11, it almost looks like a joke and that the cameras aren't that small when they really are. But the cameras, there are 3 cameras. You have the ultra wide, the wide, and the telephoto. So I mainly use the wide camera lens, as I'm mainly shooting in 1x, but having that added zoom by default of 5x as well as all the way up to 15x has been so nice, because whenever I need to see something that's very far away, I can just go ahead and zoom in using my camera, and it's really nice. Same thing as I can also just zoom out and go to ultra wide if I need that. But this also has technically 7 lenses. So Apple made the 1x wide lens able to work at a multiple ranges. So we have 1x, or 28 millimeters at 1.2x, or 35 millimeters at 1.5x. Similar of that of a regular camera lens, which I gotta say is pretty nice, because going from my regular camera to my iPhone, it's actually been pretty nice. And the quality on my iPhone is actually getting pretty good, that you probably don't even need a traditional camera anymore. Now, the iPhone 15 Pro Max and Pro also have titanium. And I gotta say, the titanium on the iPhone is actually seeming very nice. So I did opt for the white titanium color option, and I'm absolutely in love with this. It looks so gorgeous, and it almost just like stands out. And it goes with pretty much everything, and the titanium edges have made it very nice. Now, I do have a case on my iPhone. It's the Apple Clear case, and I gotta say, I've absolutely loved this case. And it's been one of the best clear cases that I have ever used, as it doesn't seem to yellow, whereas traditional clear cases do, as this is made of a lot of hard plastic on the edges, and even the buttons, they are a little stiff in the beginning, but once you use them, after a couple times, they work fine. Now, we do also have an action button on the iPhone, and I gotta say that action button has been surprisingly useful almost daily for me. So I knew right away I was not using the silent switch, so I decided to change it to the Do Not Disturb option. Now, for me, I use Do Not Disturb a lot more than I use Silent, mainly because of my Apple Watch and my Mac, as I could just turn on Do Not Disturb on one device, and it's turned on all my devices for me. So that's pretty nice, as sometimes when I'm doing work or school or whatever, I don't want to be notified. I don't want to get a vibration on my wrist. I just want to sit and focus on what I'm doing. So I just click the button and turn on Do Not Disturb, which has been super nice. Now, the iPhone does also have satellite connectivity, which has been pretty cool to just try out and play around with, as it works whenever you're outside in the sky. And if you want to try this out, you can go to Settings, Emergency SOS, and then try the demo. Now, it is not available everywhere in the world, but Apple is working on making it available everywhere, which is pretty cool because soon we're not going to need cell signal everywhere we go, and some places don't even have cell signal. So knowing that you can get emergency help and even update your friends and family on your location using a satellite has been pretty cool. Now, the iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max do also have an A17 chip, and this chip has been more than fast for everything I use. So I don't really game on my iPhone just because I don't believe on using a screen this small for gaming. But even though having a Pro Max with the 6.7 inch, it just, for me, it doesn't seem worth it when I can go ahead and use a bigger screen and a better console. Now, but the A17 for the games I have played have been surprisingly nice, and just even using the phone, the A17 chip has made everything a lot faster, meaning you're using less battery life. And even with 5G, it also has been taking less of a hit to my battery life. As I said earlier, the battery is doing me very well this year compared to where last year, where I felt like my phone was constantly always dead. Now, my iPhone is obviously running iOS 17, and iOS 17 has also played a pretty big role in the iOS and iPhone experience, as it's actually been pretty nice. So iOS 17 compared to iOS 16 and a few of the iOSs before it hasn't been a buggy mess that makes me want to throw my phone out a window. iOS 17 has been pretty stable for the most part. Now, Apple did take a break from developing iOS 18 to work on iOS 17 to make sure it is stable and that customers aren't getting upset about it, because for a while there, iOS 17 in the beginning was a mess. We had overheating, we had camera issues, we had Wi-Fi issues, we had a lot. And now that we're up to iOS 17.2.1, it's actually been very stable for me. And I gotta say, I'm actually very impressed with what Apple has done, because iOS 16 was a mess and made the iPhone 14 Pro almost unusable just because of everything going on with it. But I gotta say, overall, I'm pretty impressed with it. But if you upgraded your phone this year, let me know what your experience has been, because I feel like some people have had a very different experience, but I gotta say, I think I lucked out this year, and it's been so far so good. But while you're down there, if you want to hit like and subscribe, I'd appreciate that as well. And I want you to remember, today's a good day to make a great day, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Peace.